Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Bold Analysis. Happy New Year 2024. I know this is the last video I'm doing in 2023. The next video I'll be doing will be in 2024. Yes, that will be Monday on Fast. And I'm so grateful, by the way, on behalf of this Bold family, on behalf of my family, my two children, my wife and mother and parents, on behalf of, on behalf of Bold Charity Network, I'm so grateful. And may God bless you as you cross to 2024. May God bless you that through you, what started as just a mere political analysis has created the biggest platform to impact on lives. And something that myself I started, I have seen young people that are even brought up, learning the ropes and also coming in to support. So I initiate, by the way, I'm the person who initiated charity through the YouTube channel, especially here. And I've seen Kaka Sungura, I've seen others, I've seen Double Updates, my son, I've seen quite a number of others coming in, and I'm just so grateful. And so, this year, let me just give you a count of what we've done. In April, we managed to release Mercy from hospital and bought the husband a motorbike. And he picked on Stephen Odhiambo, if you remember. This was in April. In June, or rather, let me start by before that, last year in August, we took one, we released one, discharged a lady from hospital, Sarah, with a bill of money to raise 1.4 million. I think that is the highest. No one has ever done that here, even within political analysis side. 1.4 million. Released her, discharged from hospital, suffering cancer. Even though by God's wish, we lost Sarah this year. I can remember the date, 15th June. And so we also came through for the last send-off of Sarah. And after that, we also managed to support the family of Onunda, who had also been killed during the second phase of mass action. I don't know which one. I don't know which one. Yes, I can remember. Quite a number. There was also, yes, we also managed to tibu some mzee from Mukumu Hospital. Yes, was suffering some disease also. I think that we also supported. We also supported another lady from, we took Kijana to the hospital. Yeah, to the university. That was in October. Yeah, the university. Yeah, and we've done a lot. I'm just so grateful. Aki asanteni sana. Nambia. Satisfaction. That gives me a lot of satisfaction. Now, as we finish up this year, we have one project that we've been doing now. Ya kujengea shosh. What is remaining kwa hiyo mpango ya kujengea shosh is dirisha na madirisha tatu and the doors and pesa ya kununua mchanga, maybe kulipa fundi. The deficit of around 70,000, that's what we're pushing until on Tuesday, when I will go back there and make sure we build on Tuesday and Wednesday, so that hata minimalize nirudi Nairobi, and I'm so grateful. Let's participate. My number is down there. Handbook Challenge 0710 62 78 89. Straight to my point. Kimani Ichun'gwa is saying so many things against Uhuru Kenyatta. And I want us to look at this screenshot. Take a minute and look at this screenshot. I think I still have it here. Yeah, there was a photo. I don't know whether I actually took it. Yes, I have it here. My reflections on how one who has been honored to serve in high office sabotaged the nation through state capture, takes time to mobilize bloggers and political rejects to attempt a second sabotage of the housing agenda in Kenya, with particular focus on Kiambu using baseless propaganda. Yet some Chinese contractor, courtesy of state capture, developed 2,000 affordable housing units in a private city within Kiambu. Was the sabotage informed by the desire to make the private city the only affordable housing site in Kiambu? We shall not be tenants in your city. The housing agenda will roll in Kiambu. Live with it. You know, You know, there is something that Ichun'gwa is saying there, that Uhuru Kenyatta has, like the Northern City, has a very big space, and there is some affordable housing units that were built there. What is happening in Kiambu? There's some two stories. Number one, Wamatangi, who is a UDA governor, was supposed to give some land. There was land that Del Monte decided to cede to the county. So there are some lands that are supposed to be given by the county for the affordable housing projects. But Wamatangi seems to have declined and is saying he's not just going to give what belongs to Kiambu. And I think he's been a hero in this, because counties have been giving land without framework of give and take, what exactly the county is getting back. So that question has been there. And that is why Wamatangi was asking, what is in it for us? So that's the first thing. Number two, there is some land in Juja that had created controversy. It was also supposed to be given. And I remember those two instances. They were supposed to be given for affordable housing, and those people are supposed to be moved out to pave way for that construction. That seems also to have created some friction. Now, I don't know where bloggers come in Kiambu. I don't know. I don't see. I also don't see how Uhuru Kenyatta is coming in. Maybe I am blind. Someone with light can share, can show me. Because Wamatangi is a UDA governor. Wamatangi MCAs are largely from UDA party. Wamatangi is a close friend to William Ruto. You know, now, I have not seen, I don't know maybe, but I've not seen people, I don't know how bloggers can stop Wamatangi from giving land for affordable housing. Yes, many have been critical on AH, especially on the deduction. But do I have powers to stop Wamatangi from giving land? You know, do we have powers? We don't have those powers. So the media cannot stop Wamatangi. How do Uhuru Kenyatta come in? You can see there is a very gray line on how Uhuru Kenyatta's name is getting dragged in it. But we are not shocked, and equally should not. Because, remember, William Ruto even went ahead and profiled those Kenyans that had petitioned government against the affordable housing. And he threatened them, telling them that, you know, we'll expose you, and we'll do what to you, because there are people that don't want these projects to go on and all that. Now, you can see that clearly this is this is an attempt to riddle that affordable housing project with some political propaganda. It is just being inserted there, being riddled with a political propaganda, and simply because, you know, the courts termed it unconstitutional. And what Justice Majanja said was, how can you deduct money from us? How can you deduct money from people in the formal sector to build houses for all? It is injustice. It is unfair. It is against the spirit of equity. So you must establish a framework that will also see people in the informal sector pay for it. The constitutionality on operationalization of that fund is what was questioned by the courts. So the courts raised very pertinent questions. And even as that was going on, a petition or a bill was already presented in the National Assembly by Ichun'gwa to try to answer the questions that court had raised. Now, why do you think we are dragging Uhuru Kenyatta's name in this? And Uhuru is a former president that left. So do these people want to, do the current crop of Mount Kenya leaders want to tell us that Uhuru is that powerful that even after leaving power 1 year ago, he still calls shots and ensures that those projects are not done? Who is sabotaging AH? And how would Uhuru benefit from sabotaging? Because is Uhuru going to vie? Uhuru is not seeking any elective post in 2027. What would be his interest? In fact, if you wanted to, you can just see, and you can see the tone of that tweet. It is man that was privileged to hold the highest office in the land. So it is in the personality of Uhuru Kenyatta. And I want to tell you this without fear of contradiction. Something is simply not adding up, and this is just a mere political rhetoric that is baseless and very reckless, to say the least. The questions that Kenya Kwanza should be answering is not on who is sabotaging and who is not sabotaging. The questions on affordable housing are still hanging. The questions are still pending. Kenyans don't seem to have, rather, to get those answers. And the questions are normally three. Number one, this, instead of telling us Uhuru that, Uhuru X, Uhuru W, bana, leave achana na mtoto mama Kangita apumzike bana. Mama angine apumzike. That's not relevant. How did you arrive at 1.3% and you are forcing me, or you are forcing a Kenyan to contribute to a kitty in the form of a tax, and I don't benefit as a person? I don't need a house. I have a house. I'm not planning to invest. It is not my investment. But I have to contribute. Those are the questions. Instead of spending time tweeting about Uhuru this, Uhuru that, I think they should do a Twitter thread explaining those things. Those are the pending questions. Question number two. Government is building houses, not building. Government is putting up money. You know, people don't understand how the housing levy works. That is money put up somewhere. Investors are given incentives. Amongst those incentives, barabara itajengwa, there is some, you know, some waiver on maybe some taxes on goods imported, on some things imported for construction, and all that. Then, when they build in a place and the market cannot, there is no ready market, those investors will not go at a loss. Now, that money is like a security. After they build, they can be paid their money and they give the government the key. Now, who is the beneficiary of these houses? Who is the landlord? Who is the landlord? Who is the landlord? Kimani Ichun'gwa, instead of telling us Uhuru Y, Uhuru W, who is the landlord? If we buy the houses using, if you buy the houses using our money, yes, who is the landlord? Who is going to benefit? Those are the questions. Number three. The employer is matching what I am giving. How do employer benefit? Do you have any incentive, special incentive for the employer? Because employer is one person. Let's imagine, let's take an example. Company X has like 2,000 employees. So in this company, we are matching. Let's say that company people are giving an average of 3,000. So company management is giving some another 3,000. That is from their money. Remember, government doesn't want to know from where or how the business is doing. It doesn't matter whether the business, you know, when business is doing badly, I reduce the employees, the money I pay my employees, I negotiate salaries downwards. Now on that one is not, that one is the constitution. So if tunatoanga pesa kwa kiti yetu tunalipa huko, how do we as a company benefit from contributing? Are there some other incentives elsewhere that I get because I am matching what my employers is doing? Those are the questions. And so, I want to say this. It is politically convenient to say Uhuru is sabotaging. It is politically right. It makes good tweet. It gets attraction. It gets the media attention. But when the rubber will meet the road, affordable housing will give William Ruto only this time. If it is not going to be reviewed, what is seen, because let me tell you, number one, why this is going to give them one time. Kindly subscribe and remember 100 shillings challenge for our granny house. We are doing now windows and door and fundi and pesa ya kununua mchanga. So we are pushing around like 70. And I want to say this. Number one, the jobs that the president is saying they are creating in public is a drop in the ocean. I've seen by this year they said they have created 120,000 jobs. I normally ask, so if you come to Siaya and build some houses, establish houses somewhere, after 6 months you are done. Oh, let's give them 1 year. You know, in construction, ikianza, for me, I've also been building. Ikianza chini, you employ so many people. As the house heads towards completion, the number reduces. Ikianza chini, utaanza na mtu wa mkono, utaanza na fundi, mtu wa kubeba mawe, mtu wa kufanya nini, mtu wa kufanya nini. As you get there to the roofing, you'll now stop reducing. Ukimaliza now, there is a point to just be doing windows. Do you know, the jobs start booming, then they reduce. So, those jobs that you're creating is not something you'll factually go to the ground when you're campaigning and tell people you have created those jobs. Because those people will not be having those jobs. The people in Siaya that worked, they will not be having those jobs because, first, the houses do not make economic sense. There is this a specific capacity of houses you can build in Siaya. You look at the number of teachers here, you look at the number of doctors, you look at the county staff, then you look at, you try to look at the middle class in Siaya. Like for example, Siaya town, there is only those teachers, some doctors, you know, some privileged county workers, and some few NGOs. And again, some private, some residents who are also privileged enough and are maybe also just taking their side. That number is not a huge number. Even if you go to a county like Samburu, so many people live in their homes. Look, go to Homa Bay. So many people, they don't want to live in town because there is the traditional culture of owning a home. It's a prestige to own my own home. I will not stop building here. For example, the teachers are no longer hiring, are no longer renting. The teachers are taking loans and building homes in the villages and going to TSC asking them to be transferred close to their homes. So, the job creation agenda is not going to be achieved whatsoever. It's not going to be achieved whatsoever. Kenyans politically do not see Uhuru Kenyatta as a saboteur of that project. Politically, they do not see how Uhuru Kenyatta is coming in. You cannot complain about who is a man who is not in power. He's not there. Even a class 2 kids here anajua, grade 2 anajua Uhuru left. He gave the sword in public when everyone was seeing. You cannot carry that lie forever. You cannot carry that lie forever. Kenyans are not stupid. People are seeing and people are like, yo, what are you saying? Is this right? No. And they can separate wheat from chaff. So that's the second reason why affordable housing is going to bring. Number 3, if affordable housing is supposed to solve the housing problem. I was in Nyalenda. I've also been to Kibera. I've also been to some couple of few slums. Even in case there is a slum, by the way. It is not true that affordable housing will finish the slums. It is not true. When you are campaigning, people will still be in those slums. So they will ask you, ulisema utatotoa hapa, mbona bado tuko hapa? You know why? What we said, housing problem is not a house problem. It's not a house scarcity. It's not about availability. It is about an income problem. So the agenda, you will not have a way to present that I've now solved the housing problem. You are not going to solve it because it's an income problem. Few people, and I think someone should do research and show us the conversion rate of people from slums going, what will make someone leave Kibera slum to go and stay in that house? What will make? It is not that that house has been built. It is that I can afford that house. It is about affordability. And so long as I am still staying in Kibera and I'm still working as a soldier somewhere getting my 7,000, I'm still beginning to get my 10,000. I'm not going to stay in a 5,000 shillings house. I will not. Who will do that? And again, people also have rigidity with government, the strict rigidity with government structures. Huko, Waslam, they're used to the usual squabbles with the landlord, the delays. Government entity, you take Niza Serikali, then you go there, then within 2 months you fail to pay, then county askaris come knocking at your gate and ejecting you and keep putting your things out. Who is going to put up with those things? So, because it's not going to achieve affordable, in fact what this is that it's an enterprise. It only has one advantage, and I want to say it. If we build more houses, then the people, you know, the housing has been left to the private sector, and that's the big challenge to many sectors. The private sector is going to lose the autonomy. The autonomy they've always had. Because the government is already building, and they're also building. I believe the more their houses might lie there idle, then people sit down and say, okay, fine, because he says around a nyumba ni mingi, says wacha tupeana at this price. It can only help on the supply-demand issue. But again, scrapping off or rather finishing slums with this will not be a campaign tool. And that is what I believe. If Ruto is not careful, complain about Uhuru, complain about even Trump. You can even blame Raila. You can even blame whoever you want. Even blame Miguna if you want. But the intention and the dream of affordable housing, if it is not achieved, it is not going to be a campaign tool. In fact, I can tell you, if Ruto will make a blunder in 2027 of campaigning that I have built X number of houses, I have created X number of jobs, Kenyans will be going in those rallies and just looking at him like, what are you saying? And his messaging will be flat. Thank you. Let's meet next year. Hello Team Bold, I just want to show you what so far we have done. I am in Madiany, Uyoma. Yeah, so I told you we wanted to make sure that Shosh House is done. So the first phase was making sure that we have a couple of few stuff here. So like we've managed to buy the iron sheets. These are 25 iron sheets that we've got so far. Then these are the iron sheets. Then this is the nails. So I just want to show you. Yeah, these are the nails, both for the roofing nails and the other one for building. Then these are called roofing what? They are roofing wood, roofing poles. Yes, my friend is telling me they're called roofing poles. Yeah, so these are also pieces of roofing poles. Now if you look at the other end, yes, Shosh is not here, we might not tell you, but now this is the house that we wanted to change. So on this other end, we also have some other poles that we are bringing up. It's in the process. So huku analeta za kuweka kwa walls. Yeah, so I'm just so happy, I'm so glad we have managed a bit of first phase, and I want to say a big thank you to my good friend Honorable Maina Njenga. Yeah, Honorable Maina Njenga also extended my support towards this. This is something that was so passionate. I really wanted to ensure that before I go back to Nairobi, this house is here. So yeah, so I'm just so glad, so happy that we are doing it. I know a bit of what is remaining, which will be for tomorrow, and 31st is on the fundi and the wall. Lazima to buy some changa for the walls, so that is something pending. And yeah, paying fundi and the walls and the door and the windows. So on Monday, 31st, I should be able to buy the windows and the door, so that fundis wakianza, fundi moja atafanya hizi kazi zote, and I'll be so glad. So let's continue participating in the challenge, and I'm so happy. I said that I want us to take these blessings as we cross over to 2024. My whole team, Bold family, let's take up these blessings from Shosh as we go back to our other activities. Asanteni sana.